Brace the rudder! Raise the sails! Raise the sails!
Captain, an unidentified ship is approaching. Over.
Roger. Wait, is that an Enterprise sales solution?
Reach sales professionals, not professional sailors. With LinkedIn ads, you can target the right people by industry, job title, and more. Start converting your B2B audience today. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started today at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
The Hilton sale is on. Now through September 29th, you can save up to 20% on stays this fall and beyond. Long weekends, last-minute getaways, holiday gatherings. There's a Hilton stay for all of them. More moments, more experiences, more destinations. Now 20% off for a limited time because it matters where you stay. Don't wait. Book by September 29th and save up to 20% at Hilton.com. Terms apply. Hilton for the stay.
Navigate the gauntlet of uncertainty the world throws at your business with SAP. Whether it's a tropical storm hitting your warehouse or a short supply of those little plastic twist ties, SAP can help you tackle those unexpected crushing setbacks with its AI-powered capabilities. To pivot to new suppliers, automate paperwork, and source the twist ties you need at the price you want, so your business can stay unstoppable. Learn more at sap.com/uncertainty.
Hey everyone, welcome to this edition of Keep Watch Pass on the It's Not That Bad podcast channel. You know, some actors are picky in their roles. Some actors like to make sure that they have a fairly, once a year kind of output for films. And some actors will take every single role that comes their way. We're talking about one of those actors today. We're talking about movies starring Danny Trejo. And here to join me, my lovely wife, Carrie. Carrie, how are you doing?
Now, is that fair to say that he swings at every pitch?
Okay, I did the count. As of recording this episode on IMDb, he has over 250 film and television appearances.
Okay, A, I thought it was more. B, there's a B to this because he is the quintessential, oh my God, it's him.
Right?
It's Danny Trejo. He's in this because he is the celebrity appearance that makes you go, yes,
right?
This is a great movie now.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I don't want to say he's a character actor, but I mean, he is definitely a working actor, and he loves the craft, and he loves just jumping in and playing in the sandbox, right? That's the Danny Trejo vibe. It doesn't feel like he's just taking every role that comes his way, whether it's bad or not. He jumps into it with both feet, and he's just a gem every time he's on the screen.
And you know what I love most about him as a person is that he built himself up from so far down.
Yeah.
I mean, his backstory, I have his book, and it talks about how he was incarcerated. He was in prison, and he kind of thought, well, this is it. This is, Godspeed. This is my life. But he wasn't going to let that be his story. And so that's why I think he keeps taking roles and keeps acting. And he is just so full of life, whether it's his acting, whether it's his, he has Trejo's Tacos. He does a lot of work. He has a recording studio and does a lot of work raising funds for an animal shelter out in LA. He does so much. He is just such a figure and such a force, and I love it.
And the funny thing too is when you think about it, Danny Trejo takes a lot of character roles where he's the bad guy, or he's a badass, or something along those lines, or he's a big tough. We're talking about a guy whose smile is one of the brightest in Hollywood. Every time you see him off the screen, it's like a big smile. He is the kind of person you feel would just be great to kind of sit down, have a bite to eat with, and just have a few laughs. Danny Trejo just comes off as the nicest guy. He absolutely does. So when we get to our past picks for this episode, keep in mind that we're talking about the movie itself that just happens to have Danny Trejo in it. It's not a reflection on Danny Trejo being bad in a film. And in a lot of these cases, some of the movies that we're talking about or might be talking about, he's in for a very small bit of time. He just happens to be in the film and allows us to be able to talk about it because they are movies starring Danny Trejo. So, Carrie, why don't you get us started on this fun little trip here as we talk about movies starring Danny Trejo, your keep pick?
Well, I just first have to say, I'm a huge fan. So I could go with the really obvious picks, like the From Dusk Till Dawn or Machete, which really that role was based for him. That is his iconic role, but not one that I picked.
No one wants to be Captain Obvious.
As my keep. I went a little bit deeper.
Okay.
The movie that I'm keeping is, I'm sure that you will applaud, because it deals with or focuses on a quest for your favorite movie and the making of or the release of Star Wars. I'm talking about Fanboys.
Okay.
And
Yes.
I am talking about one of those small bit roles that Danny Trejo played as the chief. And he was doling out this substance for the main characters of Fanboys on their quest to partake.
It ain't a road trip film till the main characters pop some peyote.
And and things just got crazy, But you know what? He was just, again, it was that moment that in a fantastic movie, and I'm like, damn it, they got Danny Trejo. This movie is now my absolute favorite. So it was one of those character spottings that I was like, yes.
And you know what's funny? That cameo in that film it's almost like reverse iconic, because of course Danny Trejo would later be cast in the Book of Boba Fett as the Rancor trainer. And I was like, oh my God, that is the perfect person in that role. Thank you, Robert Rodriguez, for putting him into the Star Wars universe. I'm still waiting for his character to have an action figure. It has to I want that Danny Trejo action figure. Has to happen.
I'm shocked that there isn't already. I'm sure there is.
I'm sure there probably is. Some movie has probably got a Danny Trejo action figure somewhere that I now need to put on my wall. For my keep pick, I'm going with a film that's part of a series of movies, and it is my most favorite film of that series. I'm talking about the El Mariachi series and his appearance in Once Upon a Time in Mexico. This is actually my favorite of that series. I like it more than El Mariachi. I like it better than Desperado. He hasn't got a big part in this film, but oh my God. Johnny Depp in this is great. Antonio Banderas is always good. Once Upon a Time in Mexico was actually the very first El Mariachi movie that I watched. And then, of course, you go back and you watch the ones afterwards. It doesn't matter where you jump into the series as long as you kind of get the whole breadth of the story. I loved Once Upon a Time in Mexico. The whole, the gunfight scene at the end after Johnny Depp has his eyes removed, spoiler alert. It's just such an iconic imagery. And it's just like, oh, this is so good. And, we were talking about Robert Rodriguez. Now we get to a film that's directed and written and scored and cut by Robert Rodriguez, a person who I would absolutely just love to sit down and pick his brain. Because, yeah.
You would love to just play music with him, because he is also a extremely talented guitarist.
I don't know if I could keep up with him. He's pretty damn good.
He is good.
I'm an okay bassist, I can do the theme from Jaws. I'm good there. But I've seen him play with Shingon, and that's his guitar work is fan-freaking-tastic. Don't know if I'd be able to keep up. I don't want to drag him down. All right, for my watch pick, I'm going with a film from a different franchise, and one that might be considered somewhat divisive among fans of the franchise, because it's kind of a pickup, it's kind of a redo, directed by Rob Zombie. I'm talking about the 2007 Halloween film. I will go to war with anyone and say that Rob Zombie's first Halloween movie is ridiculously good. I really enjoyed it. And trust me, there's a few Halloween films that we could definitely skip somewhere down the road. I thought Rob Zombie did a fantastic job directing it. You got Malcolm McDowell in here. Scout Taylor Compton, who plays like the final girl, the main girl. She is ridiculously fantastic in this. I mean, she hasn't got the biggest filmography. Loved her in this. And this was the perfect take on the Michael Myers story. Just the imagery of Michael Myers standing in the courtyard, dead center in the middle of a circle, like he's attached to the floor by a neck chain, and there's a chalk outline. You're not supposed to go beyond that outer circle because that's within chain range. And it's just like, this is so creepy and so scary, but I loved it. Just everything that Rob Zombie did about that Halloween film, pitch perfect. And of course, it's a horror film. Of course, you want Rob Zombie to direct it. Okay, back over to you for your watch pick.
So again, I could be super obvious and talk about his role as Machete, but I'm going to go with when he reprised that role as Uncle Machete in The Spy Kids. Again, a Robert Rodriguez. Let's just talk Robert Rodriguez here.
Yeah, I mean, we could be talking, but we also had Rob Zombie. So let's see here. We've had Robert Rodriguez mentioned in both of our keep picks. Rob Zombie in the watch pick, and now Robert Rodriguez again in your watch pick. Yeah, okay, so it's both.
But I'm talking about because of the kids.
Mm-hmm.
The actress...
Alexa Pena-Vega, yes.
Yes, who was also...
in Repo the Genetic Opera.
You're finishing all my sentences.
The greatest rock opera ever written. Yes, go on.
Okay. Exactly. I mean, when she started, obviously it was a first role, I'm sure. And even her brother with the curly hair, he was really cute. Did he go on to do anything?
I haven't actually gone into his filmography, but I mean, even Alexa Pena-Vega had I think it was like a one-line role or something like that in Sin City. Or was it Sin City? No, it was Sin City, A Dame to Kill For. So yeah, of course, also written and directed by, yeah, you see where we're going with this, right? Like, it's Robert Rodriguez is just all over these films. But I mean, that's the other thing too, is Robert Rodriguez is one of those directors that likes to work with his friends. So you're going to see a lot of the same actors get spots in those movies. So yeah, of course, you got Danny Trejo in Star Wars when Robert Rodriguez is behind the lens. Of course, you're going to have him in a movie where, even if it's a family film, Robert Rodriguez behind the lens. Of course, it makes total sense. A lot of actors do this. Kevin Smith does this. Adam Sandler does this. It's work with the people you like, and you're going to have a happy film set.
Tarantino movies.
Oh, of course.
And then when Tarantino teams up with Robert Rodriguez, boom, you've got magic.
And Danny Trejo.
Exactly. With the Grindhouse movies.
It feels like it should be in the contract, right? Robert Rodriguez signs on to do a movie, and by the way, Danny Trejo's in it. I
actually think that's legit. I think that's how it goes.
I'd support that. All right, so now we get to your pass pick. And remember, we're passing on the movie itself, not necessarily on Danny Trejo's performance in that film. Your pick.
I'm actually taking a unique approach to my pass. And when I say pass, it's only because we've not yet seen it. So to this day, it's a pass, but I can guarantee that maybe next Shark Week or some Shark Week in the future that we need to watch Three-Headed Shark Attack.
You know, it's funny. I looked at that multi-headed shark attack series. I'm like, this will be fantastic to cover down the road, because it's one of those series. Like, it started with two-headed shark attack, then it went to three-headed shark attack, then I think it went to five-headed shark attack. I can't remember if it did a four-headed shark attack. Yeah,
there's a number of them.
There are a number of them, and a number of heads too. And I'm sure the number of heads doesn't make it better. It's not a more the merrier kind of thing. But it's those kind of films I love when namer actors like a Danny Trejo pops into them and just has fun and plays in the sand. That's what made the Sharknado series so good. You know what's going to happen? We're going to go down that road and be like, oh, crap, I'm having fun. I'm having fun with this movie. I shouldn't be having fun with this movie. Why am I so broken?
Right? But I mean, We did the Sharknado shark month.
Sharknado's a unicorn though when it comes to like bad movies and asylum films.
Okay, but I'm dropping the gauntlet. I am dropping the mic on this one. We have to check out this multi-shark-headed series.
Do we though? Must we?
I think we do. I'm sure it qualifies. I'm pretty sure I checked that because that's why I'm talking about it here and now.
You know what the funny thing is this is going to go one of two ways, right? We're going to get there and it's going to be an absolute joy and we're going to sit there and just have way too much fun with a bad movie. Or it's going to suck balls and we're going to sit there and regret all of our life choices. I don't think there's a middle ground with some of these movies that we pick.
Can it be worse really than Cocaine Shark? Really? I mean, that's a low bar to hit.
And that was a low blow right there too. We're a year past watching that film and I'm still in therapy. All right, for my past pick, I'm also going to pick a film that we have covered on It's Not That Bad. And luckily for Danny Trejo, he's only in it for a little bit. It's in the opening scene, and then he gets eaten by the giant anaconda.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. This film is proof positive that Jon Voight can't pick an accent to stick with for an entire film. He's making choices in this movie. Like when J-Lo is one of the better actors in the film, you got problems. But you know what the weird thing is? The idea of Anaconda, the film, is not bad. It suffers from questionable CGI, admittedly. It suffers from some questionable acting. But normally I sit there and say I don't want a film to be remade or something. I wouldn't mind this film being revisited with today's CGI. And I would be fine if Robert Rodriguez actually directed an Anaconda remake. The problem is, though, there's so many Anaconda films out there that you're like, no one wants to touch this again. Yeah, there's like 3 or 4 or 5 of them. It's insane how many Anaconda films there are. Did they not learn the first time? Well, they did. They didn't put Jon Voight in the other ones. But still, Anaconda, it's... You sit and you laugh at it sometimes because it's so bad. But it's not that so bad it's good. This isn't The Room, right? Or this isn't Mega Shark versus Giant Octopus where you know it's like low budget. They put some money into this. They put some name or actors in here. But it just does not hold unless you like a bad monster film. Carrie, thank you so much for this. Please remind our listeners what your keep, watch, and past picks are for movies starring Danny Trejo.
I'm keeping Fanboys, watching Spy Kids, any one of them, and especially 3D, because that was fun, if you've got the 3D classes. And I am passing to this point, but I'm calling out Three-Head Shark Attack.
All right, I am keeping Once Upon a Time in Mexico. I'm watching 2007's Halloween, directed by Rob Zombie, and I'm passing on Anaconda. And dear listeners, you want to stick around because our It's Not That Bad episode release this week. We're talking about Danny Trejo this week for a reason. Because in 2 days, we're going to be dropping our review of Snoop Dogg's Hood of Horror, which also stars Danny Trejo. You're welcome. You are so freaking welcome. But until that time, you guys know the drill. If there is a topic that you want us to cover on Keep Watch Pass or a movie that you want us to cover on It's Not That Bad, hit us up on social media at Not That Badcast. Tell me how many shark heads you want in the film and we'll do that. But until next time, she's Carrie. I'm Jay. You guys are awesome. This is Keep Watch Pass on the It's Not That Bad podcast channel, a proud member of the Pantheon Podcast Network. Take care.
That's the sound of the fully electric Audi Q6 e-tron and the quiet confidence of ultra-smooth handling. The elevated interior reminds you this is more than an EV. This is electric performance redefined.
For a limited time at McDonald's, get a Big Mac extra value meal for $8. That means 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun, and medium fries, and a drink. We may need to change that jingle.
Prices and participation may vary.